So I'm looking at our audience as on 3 different levels of screenwriting. We have our newbies who don't really know much about screenwriting, but they're very passionate and they have a story to tell. They don't know anything about structure and they don't know anything about the business. And then we have a place for like our emerging writers who've been doing this for a little while, but they aren't necessarily reaching the goals they need to reach, or they're getting stuck in their screenplays. And then we have our established people who may or may not be working in the industry, but they understand structure, they understand the business. They just really need accountability partners, and they need writing partners, and they need notes. Because in order to be a professional screenwriter, you have to push these things out, numbers of them, every year. So if it's taking you 5 years to write a screenplay, honey, being a professional screenwriter is probably not going to be the thing you do. Does it mean that you can write one screenplay, possibly get it made, possibly make some money? Yes, sure, fine. But in order to be able to do this like as your career, to be able to do this as the thing that makes you money, then you have to be able to push out multiple screenplays a year. We focus on like a few things, and you will always hear me talking about this. 1, outlining. Right? Structure, yes. Outlining, right? That's something that we always focus on. So it's definitely something that for our newbie writers, we want to make sure that they learn how to do. We're going to make sure they learn screenplay structure, because knowing screenplay structure is your foundation. If you don't know structure, then all the rest of that stuff really doesn't matter. Again, you could be out here writing screenplays all you want to. Does it mean that they are structurally sound? No. So you might want to learn screenplay structure. So that's number 1. Screenplay structure. So let me go back. Screenplay structure is number 1. Outlining is number 2, because if you want to be in this business, you need to know how to outline, because it's going to be requested of you, period. So even if you don't want to do it for your writing process because you think, I don't need an outline, I could just go straight to the page. Fine. Plenty of people can do that. They don't need an outline for themselves. But when you start working with other people, you have to be able to prove your steps along the way. And it may be a part of your contract, or it may be requested from you once you're staffed in a writer's room. So you need to learn how to outline, even if you don't want to do it for yourself. Okay. So that's number 2. The third thing that we really focus on here is receiving and addressing notes. That's why our signature service is developing notes. The only reason that it develops you is because we give you the information for why something's not working and how you can fix it, but then your job is to actually fix it. And a lot of people get stuck there. Doesn't matter how good the note is. Some people really don't know, what am I supposed to do? Or they're overwhelmed by the amount of notes that they get, right? And so a lot of conversation that's not had around screenwriting is, if you want to be a professional screenwriter, most of your job is going to be addressing notes. That's most of your job. Like, we are all out here thinking, I'm an artist and I have a story to tell, and I'm going to write a screenplay and you're going to buy it and you're going to love it and it's going to end up on the screen. Absolutely not. That's not how it works. Your job is going to be to take notes, make changes, and that within itself is a skill set. It is a skill set to be able to hear someone give you a critique, good or bad, because some people are terrible at giving notes. It just is what it is. But whether they give you a good note or a bad note, your job is to address it, to fix the problem, so that your script can make it into pre-production or whatever place you're trying to get, with your script. So right now at The Professional Pen, if you decide to submit something to us, it goes to one of our story experts and they are assigned to you. So unlike if you send it to other script coverage companies where you don't know who's going to be reading, and you don't know who's going to read the second time after they give you notes. So they gave you notes and then they send it to another reader, and now that person's reading it and you like, okay, but you just gave me contradicting notes to the last person. Like, did I address the notes or not? Right? It leaves you lost. You don't even know if you have progressed or not. But when you work with us, you get your one person. And now that one person can track you. That one person can see that you're addressing the notes. That one person can see, hey, you went too far here. Let's pull back. Remember what you had in the last draft? Yeah, let's go with that, right? It's like having a screenwriting coach. And I feel like everybody needs a coach in life. We have coaches and everything else we do. There are business coaches, actors have coaches, musicians have coaches, singers have coaches. Everybody has somebody. We all have teachers when we grow up. But for whatever reason, writers feel like we're just supposed to do this on our own. And that's just not true. You need a second pair of eyes. So right now, when you go to the website, you can just pick any service you want and submit. And that's going to change, because now we're going to want to work more closely with you and work one-on-one with you so that you can develop the skills you need to be a professional writer, so that you can have one-on-one time with people to work on your screenplay and get where it needs to go. you want to be a professional screenwriter, you're going to be working on deadline. That's a part of your job. You don't get to say, I'll get this back to you in 6 months. You know what I mean? You have to be able to turn stuff around. In writer's room, sometimes you get days to turn around your episode. Days. Not even weeks, days. So we work on deadline too, because again, we're making a pseudo development process for you. So we want to make sure that you're ready for that, that you're ready to write, that you have the time, that you understand what you're doing so we can move forward. It's going to be so fun. So we have taken all of our live courses and put them into one. So in less than 6 months, you come out with a script and a pitch, and you get to pitch to people. Again, there will be an application process because we have to make sure that you're ready, because we don't want you to get into a group of people who are ready, but you're not ready. And then you see them doing and pitching and you're not, because you fell behind. That's not what we want. That is not what we want. So there will be an application process. That script development lab is probably going to open up once or twice a year. We're going to have TV and we're going to have features. You will have a one-on-one instructor. You'll have an instructor. They will be small classes. So there will only be 3 to 5 people per class. That's it. Yeah, screenplays take a long time to finish because of the note process, etc. I don't mean that your film gets made in 6 months. Hopefully that's not what you heard. I'm talking about writing your very first draft. It should not take you 3 years to write your first draft. Developing it, you go into development after that, right? After you write that draft, getting notes, receiving notes, addressing notes, sending it to somebody else, doing blah, blah, blah. Films don't get made in less than a year. None of them do. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to get a film made in less than a year. Films take time to make. So, or even TV series, pilots, or whatever they are. Those take time to make. It takes time to go from idea all the way to distribution. That can take 10, 15 years, but usually it takes that long because things are, again, going wrong in the process. But if we're talking about just a straight through process, idea, wrote it, sold it, went into development, went into production, got it done, went into distribution, marketing, etc. That can usually take somewhere, it can be less than 10 years if there are no problems. Everybody knows they want it to get made. All the money's in place. The actors are ready on time. As in they're not double booked and doing other things. The director doesn't have other things. Everything just goes smoothly. Then yeah, you can get a film done or a pilot done in less than 2 years. But I'm talking about just you writing your first draft. It should not take 3 years to write your first draft. You should be able to get that draft out. Now, after you get it out, the amount of back and forth, who knows how long? Because you could be working with one production company because they want to help you to pitch it to this place, so they're giving notes. You start to pitch, people don't like it, cool. You pitch it to another place, they like it, they start giving notes. Then you figure out those notes, and then they start. So that part of the process can go on and on and on and on and on, and some of that doesn't have anything to do with you. But I'm talking about while you're at home by yourself writing your screenplay, should not have to take years to do so if you have a process, to get it out. What do you think is the best route to shop a script for TV? You need to have an agent or a manager, because TV is purchased through studios and networks. And so they don't take unsolicited materials. You can start with a production company that you feel like works best with whatever it is you're trying to make, because everybody's branded, so not everybody does the same thing. So you might be able to start there with producers who would then, like I said earlier, help you to pitch it to those studios and networks. If you don't have an agent, a lot of production companies don't take unsolicited things either. So you still need an agent or a manager. But if you don't have one, then just start contacting those producers directly. See where you can find them on social media. They may not answer you. They don't have to. Imagine the amount of people who are in their DMs asking for them to do something, thinking that they made the best thing ever and somebody needs to read it. So don't take it personally if they don't respond, but you can shoot your shot that way. You can go to film festivals where these people will be and try to shoot your shot in person. You know what I mean? That's about the most you can do. But if you don't want to make this TV show yourself, if you have written the script and you want it to be turned into a series, then the route is getting to the studios and the networks. The question is, how do you get to those people? And so you need to be able to make those networks with the people who can get you there: agents, managers, producers.
And that's it. Want more content? Like, subscribe, and for notifications. Need help with your screenplay? Go to awriterforyourwriter.com. That's awriterforyourwriter.com. I'm out.